Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm Urvashi and today in this video I'm going to be talking about Ketu, the south node transiting over Sun, Moon and Venus. So what is this that I am talking about in this video? We all know that planets are continuously moving through the zodiacs. Rahu and Ketu are always moving backwards. For the last year and a half, they were in, Rahu was in Gemini and Ketu was in Sagittarius. Just a few days ago, Rahu moved to Taurus and Ketu moved to Scorpio. After a year and a half, Rahu is going to move to Aries, Ketu is going to move to Libra. So they are always moving in the reverse direction. The rest of the planets, of course, are moving forward, but Rahu and Ketu prefer to move backwards. So in your natal chart, in your birth chart, you have all the planets in certain zodiacs. So as Rahu and Ketu progress their journey through the zodiac in transit, whichever zodiac sign they move to in transit, if in your birth chart you have planets in that particular zodiac, then you should check the transit of Ketu over that particular planet in my videos, or the transit of Rahu. I have already made a video of, in fact I've made I think 3 of them or 4 of them maybe, of Rahu's transit over the natal planets. So if you are looking for those videos, I'm going to give a link of the playlist in the description below. Now I am specifically talking about Ketu. What happens when Ketu in transit moves over a house where you have a planet in your natal chart? So for instance, Ketu right now is moving into Scorpio. If you have a planet in Scorpio, then that is the particular planet you should be looking for. After a year and a half, Ketu will be moving into Libra. So if you have a planet in Libra, then Ketu is going to be transiting over that particular planet. So you should be looking for that particular topic then. That is how you have to see this particular transit that I'm talking about. What is Ketu and what is the effect of Ketu on any planet that it is conjunct with in your natal chart? And specifically in this video I'm going to be talking about Ketu transiting over natal planets. So to understand Ketu, you must see the lordship of Ketu. Ketu rules the sign of Scorpio, which is the natural 8th house. And the Mool Trikon sign of Ketu is Pisces, which is the 12th house. What is Mool Trikon? Mool Trikon is the office. So the official work that Ketu has come to do is to take you towards the 12th house, which is the house of moksha, of getting us rid of this cycle of birth and death. So we are in a cycle. So the job of Ketu, that is the official place, that is the office work of Ketu, is to take us out of this bondage and free us. But the house that Ketu rules is Scorpio. So what is Ketu naturally always doing? What is the 8th house, the sign of Scorpio? The sign of Scorpio is a very intense sign. I am going to give a link of the sign of Scorpio. I have made a video on ascendant sign Scorpio, but it does describe the zodiac very well. You can watch that video. I'm going to give a link of that video also in the description below. So Scorpio is all about all that is deep and hidden in the natural zodiac. This is the 8th house. So it has all the hidden side of our nature, our personality, our subconscious, things that we are not even aware of. All your hidden psychological fears, all the things that you do in secret, all the things that you like to hide, all your debts are in the 8th house, in the sign of Ketu, Scorpio, that Ketu rules. Mars also rules, but Ketu, Mars rules Aries as well as Scorpio, and the Mool Trikon of Mars is Aries, which is the 1st house, I am. But Ketu rules the 8th house and the Mool Trikon is the 12th house. So it wants to free us. And in the 8th house, like I said, all that is hidden inside of you, the hidden energy you have, the negativity that is inside of us, or the positivity. It wants to free us, or it wants to liberate us from worldly materialistic things. That is why the 8th house is also the house of viragya or sannyas, or giving up of things. It's the house of transformation. So Ketu wants to transform us. This could be with the help of deep research work, which is also connected to the sign of Scorpio. This could be by sudden, unexpected incidents happening that cause us to transform. So that is why we say the 8th house is very unexpected. It's very difficult to predict what's going to happen with the planets in the 8th house. So unexpected results can be expected, and those events lead to our transformation. That is the job of Ketu, to transform us and move us towards the 12th house of moksha. So here Ketu's job is to transform with the help of deep study, deep research into the other world, into that which is not normal as far as most individuals are concerned. So it is the paranormal. Everything that is beyond the normal is in the domain of Ketu. And to give us sudden happenings in life, sudden unexpected, because it is the house of debt. So our debt, whatever debt we are to pay, is in the 8th house. And those sudden happenings that happen, that are unexpected, are usually connected to past life and past life karmas. And they help us. Those happenings are supposed to happen so that we transform, because there is no point in going through the cycle of life and death again and again unless we keep evolving and transforming. So that is all what Ketu is supposed to do. So it is not good, it is not bad, it is very important. And but when Ketu is now transiting over any of the natal planets, let's see the effect of Ketu's transit over the sun. Sun signifies the first house, of the zodiac. It's the ego, it's the I am, it's the confidence that we have in ourselves. Sun signifies your father, it signifies government, authority figures. Here Ketu wants to transform the sense of self. The ultimate aim is to take us towards the 12th house of moksha. So it wants to free us from this sense of self that we have. We are so, when we are born, we so forget about the true or the real reason of our birth, and we get so engrossed in the mundane things in life. And I was in fact watching this very nice program the other day. I think it's either on YouTube or Netflix. This was about some drink that, in the Amazon, some tribe is making that drink, and having that drink, one experiences. The video I watched, the person felt he was letting go of himself. There was a sense of loss of self that he experienced, and there were changes in the brain activity also, because this was a scientific experiment. So it was really interesting to see, and there was great fear in this person who was under the effect of that drink, who felt he was losing himself. So there's great fear of losing ourselves. A sense of identity, physical, mental, emotional, is extremely important to us. But what is important is we can only move towards moksha when we lose that, me, I, because we are all a part of this collective consciousness. But it's difficult, it's impossible in fact. And so here Ketu will give us 8th house effects on the I am. Sudden unexpected happenings will happen because they are the debts that we have to pay from the past. And these happenings will cause us to lose maybe that self-confidence, to lose the ego, which in the longer run is what we are supposed to be doing, but which is immediately not easy. So difficult experiences related to your ego, related to your confidence. The sun also is the spine, is the backbone, and Ketu can give us health issues. Sun signifies general health as well as the spine. So Ketu can give us health issues related to the spine, or generally even the eyesight. And again, there is a bending. The spine, if you literally compare it to the backbone, to the ego, to the me, and suddenly if there is a problem with the spine, there's a humbling effect. Sometimes when we have to bend and walk when we are not feeling very well, so there is again that humbling effect. So it can be a physical one, but of course all physical issues affect us mentally. So there is a humbling effect, or this humbling effect can be through a father figure, issues in relationships, issues connected to the past with your father may come up. A detachment may be there. You may feel some kind of a detachment from your father, lack of communication. Father's health at this time can be impacted negatively also. Problems with authority figures and government can also happen. All this is to give us that humbling effect, to lose that ego. Anything that makes you egoistic, whatever it is that makes you egoistic, you may have to let go of it. Nature will force you. Incidents, occurrences will happen that will force you to let go of that I, me. And because here Ketu is out to teach us a lesson of losing that self and moving towards the 12th house. From the first house, sun signifies the first house, we got to move towards the 12th house. But this transformation happens through the 8th house. Sudden unexpected happenings will happen, and sudden ego clashes can be there with the father, because of which you may have to humble yourself. And it's important that you humble yourself. If you continue with the clash, if you're having a clash with the boss, with authority figures, or even with your father, as long as you continue with the strife, with the struggle, that much longer the problem will persist. The sooner you let go, the sooner you humble yourself and you accept whatever the issue is, if whatever part of you have made a mistake, wherever you have made a mistake, if you accept it and let go, the easier this transit will be for you. So it's good to in a very spiritual way, because Ketu is again taking us to the 12th house. In a spiritual way, it is good. Acceptance makes it easy. The more we are stuck up on not accepting, fighting authority, fighting a father, the more we are adamant on that much trouble this transit will give us. Now I'm going to be talking about Ketu's transit over the moon. What is the moon? The moon, of course, is the mother. The moon is the 4th house, your comfort and happiness. The moon is your feelings. The moon is nourishment, is food also. How nourished do you feel? How much nourishment can you provide to others? That is all the moon is about. So here the moon, your happiness is impacted. You will feel more introverted, less of, even if you're an extrovert, now you may not feel like an extrovert. You may feel more introverted. You would like to spend more time by yourself. And introspection is a great thing to do at this point of time. Now, depending on the dignity of moon, if moon in your chart is very strong, then this is not that bad a time. You will be able to introspect, and you will be also able to heal yourself. We all in our subconscious somewhere or the other have hidden things, hidden issues. Ketu is going to go deep into our emotions and heal the hurts that we have. All that is hurting you inside, you will be able to heal through introspection, through meditation, through acceptance. But if the moon is not in good dignity, for example, moon here is in Scorpio in your birth chart. Let's suppose in your birth chart moon is in Scorpio and moon is afflicted. Now Ketu here can cause you to feel very low, very negative, and you would be musing over all the negativity of your life, and just it'll be like a whirlpool going deeper and deeper into it. So it's very important that you talk your emotions out. This transit, whether your moon is well posited, whether your moon is afflicted, this transit is going to make you not want to share your emotions with anybody. If the moon is well posited, you will be able to handle it. You may not share your emotions to anybody. You will be able to introspect. You will be able to meditate. And you will be able to heal yourself. But if the moon is afflicted, like I said, then you definitely need help. You need to talk to somebody, because you already have an afflicted moon in your chart. So you tend to feel low pretty quickly. And you already are always musing over negative things in your life. So now with this transit, it will further trigger it, and you have the chances of going into depression. Especially, let's suppose if the moon is aspected conjunct by Saturn, and you have a Saturn Mahadasha, this is going to really bother you. So then in that case, you need help. Trouble with your mother, health issues with your mother, nourishment, you could be devoid of nourishment. You may not take a lot of interest in food, or you may start eating food which is not very nourishing for you. So your nourishment can be impacted. Your mother's health can be impacted. Your relationship with your mother will be impacted. Your ability to communicate your emotions and nourish others will be impacted. You will not be able to nourish others. It's a good time to just nourish yourself, to heal yourself, if the moon is well posited. Your connection to public at large, moon is the public, will be impacted. You may feel withdrawn. Your like I said, moon is public, you may feel withdrawn. Moon is your mind, you will feel withdrawn. But for healing your psychological things, your psychological issues, it's a good transit, unless the moon is in bad dignity. This is a good transit for imagination, for coming up with brilliant imaginative ideas, for people who are writers or even actors, where you have to put in a lot of emotion into something. You can really go deep into your emotion and harness those feelings into into written work or in any other form of creativity. You may not talk it as such, but you can bring the emotions out. So now I'm going to be talking about moon's transit over Venus. Now Venus is our relationships. Venus is the spouse. Venus is every relationship that you have. Venus is all the women in your life. Venus is your idea of beauty. Venus is what you like to do. And Venus is the way you like to dress and the way you think you want to project yourself. Your idea of beauty, your idea of clothes, your idea of fashion, your idea of art. And here the 8th house impact is coming on Venus. So firstly, positive Venus, let's suppose Venus is very well posited and Ketu is now transiting over this Venus. So you will want to detach yourself from the materialistic things, like the physical aspects of a relationship, and want to be in a relationship for the sake of love. The true meaning of love, the true meaning of a relationship, the true meaning of a bond, that is what you want to explore. You may be completely pulled away from relationships or physical relationships. There are two things that could happen if Venus is afflicted in your chart. Now the 8th house is sudden, hidden, unexpected. Another thing here I want to say about Ketu is a headless planet. Headless meaning Rahu is the head, Ketu is the body. So Ketu doesn't have a head. So it's not going to think before doing something. It's a rash planet, impulsive, rash. And it likes to break boundaries. It likes to, because it wants to break boundaries, take you from one realm to another. But it also shows mistakes. Ketu will also show mistakes because it doesn't have a head. So in relationships, you will want to explore relationships. You will, if Venus is well posited, you will want to let go of all the physical things attached to a relationship, and you would want to be in the relationship for the sake of true love. On the negative side, if Venus is afflicted, then here the 8th house themes are connected to Venus. Hidden relationships that society may not look upon in a positive manner. Unexpected relationships can come up. Ketu shows sudden, headlessness, mistakes with regards to relationships, mistakes that you may also yourself consider a mistake, but maybe later on. So mistakes related to relationships, hidden relationships, Purity in relationships. Venus well posited. You want your relationship to be on a different level, beyond the physical, but beyond looks. Your sense of fashion, you will want to cut out all the frills. On the positive side, you will want to cut out all the frills. You would not want to follow the fashion trends. You will create your own fashion. You will say, this is all a waste, okay? So let's get a little more practical. And but you may also, Ketu is a planet of the past. You may also, adopt fashion from the past. So you may change your dresses, your dressing sense, your hairstyle, and something that was trendy in the past, you may want to now do it. A relationship from the past may come up. Somebody you knew from the past may come up. On the positive, like I said, it's purification of Venus. It's going towards a relationship which is much beyond the physical self. On the negative side, relationships that are objectionable by others. So both these depend on the lagna, first the intelligence of the person, then your Venus in your natal chart. So if the lagna is very strong and Venus is very well posited, then this will be a purification of relationships and not caring about trends and all, and creating your own fashion, and could be also going towards the past. And on the negative side, it's like I said, it's wrong relationships, spoiling your relationship with your with your spouse. Other relationships may also be impacted. Venus is significant of the second house, the seventh house. So here your relationship in family may be impacted, relationship with other people may be impacted, business partnerships can be impacted, relationships can break with any of these, with business partners, with spouse, any relationship that you've just been tagging along for any materialistic reason. Now you will decide just to break it. If you've been thinking about it, you will be able to take that action now. So that is all for now for this video. I will be making another video for Ketu's transit over Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury. So keep watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.